Okay, hopefully this microphone isn't a crackly piece of shit. Because it tends to be for no good reason. Make sure it's not boosted or something. Oh, it's boosted a bit. Okay, hopefully this microphone isn't a crackly. Whoa, that's not good. How did I manage to do that? Microphone right on myself. Okay. Now it's for something fancy, supposedly. Maybe, I don't know. This could be a disaster. So let's see. So the first thing that I did, and I have to go comment it in. Of course, I forget which file it is, so this will take a second. Platform 3? No. Platform 2? No, that one's still right. Come on. Let's try, is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Okay. I'll just comment that out. So, I was trying to come up with a new command to do. A new thing. Oh, what am I thinking? Command. A new element. And I noticed that the, oh, which theme is this? The Critical Zone theme had a video background, so I decided to see if I could randomize that, and I have. So that was nice. Let's see. Start that up. See how horrible the sound comes through when my speakers inevitably get caught up with my microphone. And just this horrible, disastrous mess. Okay, so here we have a random video in the background, and if I, it's not really animating, is it? Probably, that's odd. There we go. Different video, another different video, and so on, and so on. So I got that working, so that was fun. It just loads a random video from the background videos folder for the theme. Just a little thing I threw in there to try. It was actually surprisingly annoying to do this. You'd be very surprised how annoying it was to actually do that. It kept crashing like crazy because apparently VLC doesn't like having the video changed in the middle of playing. So that's nice. Let's exit this. Okay. So that was pretty simple. But then I started looking at something from Minecraft of all things. And then we pull this onto the screen. So I have these images here from Minecraft. It's actually from the menu screen. These are normally on the inside of a cube. So I thought, I wonder what I can do with these. So I'm gonna hit start and hope it doesn't crash. It's a little topsy-turvy crazy. And of course my big box doesn't start super fast because it's like got a lot of stuff in the library and I'm in the debugger. Any moment now though. And big box? Yeah, no, maybe. I really should capture the splash screen, that'd be a good idea. Oh, there we go. So that's a little disorienting. But it was just to get the render working. So we now have a nice panorama render that the camera is bouncing around like it's drunk, but it works. So oh, that one's still set to video. So yeah, we've got the this. So once we have platform, or not even platform, game specific or no, platform specific themes. Those would be platform specific themes. If I figure out a good way to put various different mod packs and stuff to launch directly into them, bypassing the launchers, which I think is quite reasonably doable, you could go into a so-called platform or playlist, and then you'd have Minecraft-styled UI, which would actually have the this panorama in the background. Granted, it wouldn't be bouncing around like this. It would be stable, and it would be a bit blurrier than this. This is quite a bit extreme. It's very small pictures because the game normally blurs them, so I'll have to put a blur on it. But that was an adventure. So that's what's working so far on that front. And I also have... Oh, this one will be fun to show. I guess we'll just launch it again. There should be a splash screen here somewhere. It'll show up eventually. Oh, there it is. The splash screen showed up at the last second. That was quite odd. And the DirectX isn't capturing. Wow, this is just a cavalcade of unfortunate events. Why is this not capturing? Ah, big box. Why do you hate me? Huh. We'll just add it to the scene again, because that's how we roll. So yeah, if I go to just a random PC game, and I get various announcements in the background, Windows... Oh, that would actually be nice on the Exotica. And there's the loop error, of course. Yeah, if I come over here, you see it ends with add to playlist. As we all get dizzy looking at this. But if I go to Steam, find a Steam game that's installed, it also just ends in add to playlist. But if I find one that's not installed,
Hello, I'm
I'm not sure which one that would be. Oh, here's one. Now I haven't figured out how to clean this up yet, but it has installed with Steam. When I hit that, and of course it doesn't capture. I should chat something so it doesn't sit there and just say, ready for chat. There we go. I keep needing that layer captures, but that popped up automatically. So it's not the fanciest thing. Hit it again. Pops up. I tried switching automatically into big picture before triggering this, and it worked, but the result was that it just installed into the default library immediately. It didn't give any choice into what library to install it in. So I need to figure out a way to, if there is even a way, to control what library this installs into. Because frankly, this interface here is not conducive to these controls. If you're holding a controller and you're sitting here trying to use this thing, and you come down to install with Steam, and this pops open, well, what are you going to do? Now, I could just make it automatically install into your default library and just deal with it by switching to BigBox. Not BigBox, switching to Steam's Big Picture. But, I don't know, I still have to figure that out. But there's a really basic plugin for you. It's best I got so far, at least. I wanted to make a plugin that would have a go to series, and you would hit it, and it would automatically go to the series that this game is in, with this game selected. But there's no navigation functions in the API yet, so we're still waiting on that. And also, my Steam interface is a little temperamental, but not for the same reason. I don't even know how loud that is. My Steam interface is kind of temperamental, but not for the same reason that everyone else's tends to be. Mine's actually accurate. It doesn't make mistakes, but it relies on reading. Originally, I used libraries that could fail at any time. Wow, that's gonna make someone sick. Alright, let's switch to something else. Oof. Yeah, the Steam interface, like I said, is hokey. It likes to fail. Now this bug with the video, I know what it is. I just don't know why it's happening. This bug with the video is it's related to the MPEG or whatever variant of MPEG compression this uses, where it uses blocking and things. It knows that a certain motion is happening. So when you miss a critical frame of information, normally the first frame, you just get gray, and anything that's moving kind of works, but anything that's not moving doesn't. And for some reason, in BigBox, the looping VLC player in the background randomly trashes the first frame. I don't know why. Like if it's a loop, it shouldn't be capable of trashing the first frame, but it does. But yeah. So random video, as you can see, works. This horrific thing works. I should see during the stream if I can make this spin like the Minecraft one and blur it. But that's just basic stuff, and I'm loading those as plugins. I know you could technically load them other ways, but it just seems more efficient to load them as plugins. And of course, it doesn't like my panorama cube. That thing's also hard-coded to the Minecraft one right now. But what I'm thinking is, if I set these up correctly, I could probably rig it in a theme so that if a game specifically has panorama artwork set in it, or actually not a game, I could do it for a game, but I could probably do it at the platform level. If the platform or playlist has a panorama image set up, it would just load it and show it. I think that's quite doable. Um, that's nice. If it works. But yeah, let's make this 3D marquee thing not so awful. Random video control is kind of ugly because it has some pass-throughs, like various commands just pass right through the video player. I locked the video player whenever I interacted with it in case there was a threading concern, and interestingly, it actually made it more responsive. Uh, that was a bit odd. Because normally, like when you lock like this, that means that as soon as something hits this lock here, lock, subcontrol lock, it shouldn't be capable, anything else that hits this lock would pause until this leaves the lock, so it made it work smoother for some reason. Like when I switch back and forth rapidly between scenes, the video actually changes, whereas before I did that, the video didn't change. I guess because of how it was interleaving. Literally talking to nobody. Hopefully this stream's even audible. I don't even know. I'll watch back the playback at the end since there's no one saying anything in the chat. Okay. And if so, actually, I should check the chat manually. Yeah, it's working there. And it's working there. It's just me, though. Because want to make sure the read chat isn't missing anybody. Okay, but the interesting thing about the random video control is this little bit here. If we're in design mode, or if we're not in design mode, then initialize. So I'm going to come over here. And I'm just going to say, if we're in design mode, or if we're not in design mode, then run all this code. If we aren't, don't. And now, suddenly and magically, if I come back... Oh, that should have actually fixed it. That's odd. Let's recompile. Oh, there we go. Look, it's actually loaded. Because I added to my code, this stuff was screwing it up for some reason, so I just bypass it in design mode in my code. That's my constructor there. And magically, now I have this working again. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to like do design time rendering or something. I haven't found a way to do it. So that's that at least. Like I said, this thing's still kind of hard coded at the moment. I know it says here themes, Nilco and Critical Zone, Panoramas, Minecraft, but the truth is that in the actual wrapper object I wrote here, where is it? This thing, I still have it. I just have it hard coded here. But I'll map it. I'm going to take this and map this to the property so that when you change the property on Panorama Cube, it maps into the internal 3D object. I just haven't done it yet because I was trying to get it to even run. Like I'm using the Helix toolkit because it makes things a bit easier. It's just some add-on classes for 3D stuff in WPF. Or XAML as Jason keeps calling it. Yeah, it's in there, but it's a little less than useful, I guess. Okay. So we're using this rotation keyframe. Huh. I'm not exactly sure how this works, so we're just gonna wing it. Why is it axis 3? I thought an axis would be a unit vector, so it should just be 1. That's odd. Matter of fact, would that even do anything? Yeah, that's quite unusual. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. But we'll come down here. We have 4 seconds, and 4 seconds, 2 different animations. One of them is an animation of a double, one of a vector 3D, looping forever. This one goes from -60 to +60. It's an angle. It must be in degrees, so let's try -180, +180. It will give it a duration of 16 seconds. And we'll just completely remove this. This is changing the axis of rotation. Oh, that's clever. Okay, so while it was rotating, it was also changing the vector it was rotating on. That's why it was wobbling so weird. So now if I've done this right, I'll make this a unit vector, hopefully. 0. If I've done this right, it should now spin smoothly. Maybe a little fast, maybe a little slow. We'll find out in a minute. Ah, there you are. Hello, Critical Sid. I'm using your theme as a base for my horrible machinations. Come on. XSplit, you hate me. Ah. Okay. Let's see if BigBox actually displays on this screen or not. Why is the chat not on this screen? That's weird. No, you know what? Let me change the chat delay. It's probably... Well, I've got the axis wrong, that's for sure. Enjoy that. I've goofed a bit, it appears. I appear to be doing a aileron roll and then bouncing back the other way. That was not my intention. I don't know WPF. I'm literally guessing here. So let me just make the messages last a lot longer. There we go. That'll do that. Yes, this is unintended. But this is actually a cube. I'm inside of a cube, looking out, and each of the sides of the cube has been textured with the texture. So that's pretty cool. And for some reason I get a crash every time I close BigBox. I don't know why. It might be something I plug in. It's probably my plugin. It's a send Windows error report with no actual information. And kernel base. I think it's when I look it up, it says that sometimes programs will start doing this when Windows updates a security feature, and I did do a Windows update recently, so I'll figure that out. Well, I appear to have gotten the axis wrong again. On the bright side, this allows us to see that the top and bottom of the cube have been properly mapped. So that's good to know. It feels like you're looking around. I mean, look at it. It's working. I've only got one more option left, so I can't be wrong a third time. The Z-axis. Yeah, switch back to code manually. Okay. Now, really quickly, I should see if oh, R reverse is true. We'll change that to false. It will change the time period to 30 seconds. Now we should go, let's also just make this, just to see, maybe I'll speed it back up actually. We'll give it 10 seconds, and we'll do 0 to 360. We'll see if there's any weird hitching. And then I have to figure out how to add a blur. And I'm thinking, yeah, I bet. I want to go really slowly, just like Minecraft does. And I'm thinking once we have platform and playlist specific themes, I'll figure out how to run different Minecraft launchers cleanly. Even better if I can actually launch directly into a mod pack without having to go through the launcher, obviously. I'll set all that up, and then, okay, let's see what we got. It's a little fast still, but then you'll have a theme that looks kind of like the Minecraft menu when you're selecting which Minecraft mod pack you want to play, because it'll be a playlist or a platform, probably a playlist. Um, that's what I'm thinking. It's a little hitchy because it's going so fast. Matter of fact, that might just be an issue with my recording for the stream. But yeah, it's working. Check it out. And there's a little bit of a weird kind of field of view going on. But that's actually a number that you can change in the XAML. This rotation rate is actually part of the XAML too. So yeah, this is pretty nifty. So now I just need to, I'll slow it down to, let's just make a guess and make it a whole minute to spin around. Okay. Now let's see. How do we blur things? I think this theme already does blurring. I mean, you made it, so you'd know, but text was not found in this document. Okay. Oh, right. Code. I keep forgetting to switch back to the darn actual code. Okay. So now I need to see if I can find yes, add a blur. Because picture this with the nice soothing music that Minecraft plays. I could probably add a transition or something where it fades from one sphere to another if there's different spheres. Like you picture some pretty interesting things. I'm just gonna Google here WPF blur. I'm gonna guess that a blur is as simple as dropping a blur wrapper or something around what I want in the XAML. No, maybe not. Let's see. I'm trying to find if there's a way to just blur anything. I'm sure there is. Oh, what is this? Button.bitmap. Okay. Let's see if I can add a bitmap effect to this, or if I'm completely just guessing. Well, this could kill the performance too. It's not a video, but it is rendering in real time from a cube with low texture things on it. So yeah, that doesn't seem to. It doesn't seem to do it. Yeah, that doesn't look like it's actually a. It's not recognized or accessible. We'll just compile just in case it's just a bug, but I'm sure it's not going to work. Nope. Yeah. I need to find how to blur any component. WPF blur any control. Go gadget Google. Here we go. Okay. So I take this, I put it on top. then this will either be a horrible mistake and will push all the stuff off the end of the document, or they'll lay on top of each other. I'm not sure offhand. Let's just see what this does. Yeah, it's kind of sad that blurring does that. I guess a way around it with this cube might be to just pre-blur the cube. Like the actual textures going on the cube. Yeah, like if I can't blur it in real time, I'll write a routine that loads the images, increases their resolution if they're really small, blurs them in memory, and then sticks them on the cube, and it'll probably look passable. Oh wow, that's very interesting. I just dropped that code from the internet in here, and it blurred. Oh, why I had to put it on the screen. It blurred the sides, but it didn't blur the middle. That's very interesting. I can't tell if there's a performance hit or not, because my computer is ridiculous. Even though the technology is from 2011, at least the CPU is from 2011. I wonder why the chat history is so short on the stream still. I set it for... Maybe there's... Hold on, maybe there's an option to just never hide it. Ah, there we go. And to set it for 0 seconds instead of 180 seconds. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's see. I'm gonna make a new view real quick. Highlight everything. Yeah, it could. It might be killing it right now, and I just can't tell. That was the wrong kind of paste. Bear with me. Okay, there's that. Hit the code. Ah. I keep getting screwed up because, XSplit changed. You need to control shift paste to actually paste a new instance of something. Oy, oy, oy. Yeah, the real-time blur could be killing it right now, and I couldn't even tell. In fact, let's see what we got here. How do I read this? Okay then, it doesn't like that. The best I'm gonna get is this. Well, we're only using like a very low amount of CPU here. Really low down there. So we might be okay, I don't know. It's something that would need testing to be sure. Of course, now that I'm fidgeting with it in the code, it's freaking out. Let's just kill it. That was interesting. I've never seen a blur like that. It's a blur on just the outside radius. That's quite interesting. Yeah, so this blur might be a problem, it might not. I'm not sure. I'm going to see if there's an optimized blur for 3D real quick. 3D blur. But this one's really hokey, I'll tell you that right now. No, I want a blur effect. I don't want fixes for blurriness. Oh, okay. I could technically use a shader effect. Yeah, I think for the Minecraft thing, I'm gonna need to do a there'll like need to be what's that called? Where there's a bit of darkness around the screen, especially in the corners. Minecraft actually has this in game. Um, Vignette? I think it's a vignette. Like a vignette on top of it. And maybe if I want it to blur like the Minecraft one does. Which might honestly just be an effect of the upscaling method Minecraft uses for those tiny pictures. Because like I said, they're quite small. Blur effect. No, it looks like this is already a shader. So it shouldn't actually be very slow because the GPU should kick in. Yeah, that don't need experimentation. I'll need someone who actually has experience with how well themes work or something at that point. Um, yeah, kind of interesting though that it works. I'm just not sure how to blur the whole thing because this was a border blur, and I kind of want a whole thing blur. Um, yes. Hmm. Let's see if it has like, a dumb Gaussian blur or something I can use. Now, they keep using bitmap effect, but this is border effect. I wonder if I just put a bitmap here that's empty, what would happen? Um, hmm. That's the fun thing is that basically this whole thing is just trying things and Googling. Yeah, I must have closed the page. History. You can't even see what I'm digging through right now. Hmm. Because I want to blur more than just the border. I want to blur the whole thing. Because I want it to be like the Minecraft thing where it's blurred. What I might end up doing actually is writing something in the future where I have all these different controls in the same theme, but then there's like a JSON file or something or an XML file the in folders named for the playlists or platforms that trigger it to do something different. Like it's like, oh, this platform says to do this effect here. But that's kind of just a way to get around the lack of playlist and platform specific themes right now. I'm not sure how Hyperspin works because I've never used it, but we're probably actually far enough along that we could write a theme engine that ingests Hyperspin theme files and just renders them. Border background. And you'll have to forgive me because I literally have never done much of this before. Hmm. Okay, that's a step. Nope, don't do that. Oh, come on. I guess there's no subchildren of that. So can I just put the effect right in there? No, I can't. Hmm. No, I have to set the whole thing as a border background. What's a border background? This is where you get frustrated with me because you know what you're doing and I don't. I actually don't have any themes downloaded other than the two that come with it right now. Just because my library is a mess. I've had a perpetual issue right now where I go to update my metadata and I've set the game IDs correctly, but then the metadata scraper changes the game IDs because it thinks it knows better than I do. And I sat there like manually matching 3,000 Steam games to the correct database IDs. I don't need it changing that. I have a bug in for that, but Jason hasn't fixed it yet. It just needs to, if the record has a database ID on it, and the database ID is still valid in the metadata, it needs to just leave it and not try to change that part. Maybe like 5 lines of code to fix that, but need to actually get his attention. Oh, right. Well, you could always switch over to the Twitch stream where I don't think there is a restriction, or you could put it in the Discord. I'm watching that, kind of. Yeah, I've got the Discord open, so I don't have any notification sounds turned on, but I never do because I'm always do not disturb because the darn notifications from Discord actually take focus away from some of my development tools when they pop up, and I don't know why. Order. Ah, that works. Yeah, after Jason's last stream where I posted a link to a picture in Twitch and the picture just appeared in his chat, I immediately I like sent him a message. I'm like, hey, you should go find this setting here and turn it off so no one can post inappropriate pictures in your chat and have them show up on your stream. I fixed that setting on mine too. Okay, downloading file. You know, any video scraper, I'm gonna have to make one for Steam that's more intelligent that actually shows you all the videos and you can pick one. It should probably also have a trimming feature where you can trim from the beginning or end of the video. Um, It's kind of fidgety to do, but if you can just get the time codes, it's actually just a really easy command in FFmpeg. So that's an idea. Okay, let's check this out. Let's just install this theme so we have it. Oh, I have so much shit open. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, an info file. I haven't seen those since torrents. Extract here. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I would want to do it manually just because I've actually run into an issue which is really annoying where some of the trailers start their music while the logos are still showing. So unless you want to silence the video, which I guess you could do, it's a bit eh. Okay, I'm just going to use Notepad++ to search all of the XML files in this, or XAML, for the word blur. Good old grep without grep. Okay. Translucent panel. More translucent panels. More translucent panels. That's all actually the same type of syntax. That's interesting. You can't see any of this because I don't have it on the screen. Hmm. Oh. I see. Maybe. I'm not sure actually. Um. We'll just steal his panel wholesale for a moment and see what we're dealing with. Now it is using. I don't understand a lot of the WPF stuff. I know there's a resources system and everything, and I'm gonna bet you that is BG. That's probably something I should know. Let's see, BG. Oh, found it. It's a transition presenter. Interesting. I don't know what that does. I probably don't need that, but I'll put it in anyway. This is content video. I'm gonna guess that this is used to force rapid refreshing. That's my guess for that. Oh, and of course I don't have that namespace, so I'll have to pull that namespace in. Oh, transitions is actually a LaunchBox library. That's interesting. Okay, we will attempt a build. I've done something stupid. Did I put it in the wrong? Oh. Well, that's interesting. For some reason, this theme wraps everything in a canvas. That's easy enough to do. And yet it still doesn't like... It has to exist in that namespace, you darned thing. Okay, I'm missing something. A broken LaunchBox WPF. Ah, that's probably the problem. Yep, that's the problem. Metadata WPF. I don't even know if this dialogues show up now that I think about it. You probably didn't even see the dialogues I had open there to add the DLL to the project. Compile, please? Okay, that worked. I have no idea how horrible this is going to look because I literally just stole the translucent panel and dropped it in the theme. I almost said my theme. It's your theme with my edits because I'm just testing things. Let's see what horrible stuff befalls us. Oop. Yep. My poor BigBox. Okay, I probably shouldn't have just copied that component whole cloth because it appears to have actually gotten in the way of my normal component. Fascinating. It's probably bound to a property and I need to unbind it. It's weird though because it said it was a translucent panel, but that wasn't translucent. Oh, is that because I put a canvas in? I'm very new to this. You're probably screaming at your computer, telling me I'm an idiot. I basically put that in. Okay, I'm not sure what this transition presenter is actually doing here because I think it's in the theme. It's normally disabled. It's the default background element. Binding to it is this translucent panel here, so that it could grab the background and render it with its brush. I think that's what's going on here. Yep. So I don't know if I can actually put a complex object like a 3D thing in this. I don't think I can. So we're left with just the border again because yeah, that's what I was thinking. Um, that's exactly what I was thinking it was doing. I don't know how delayed I am. Um, you know, when you do that, you can also intercept it and do stuff like blur it, but you can't do that with live video unless the virtual brush is very fast. I guess it's possible, but oh, I get it. This is a component named background, which is being used as a data source for the virtual brush. So if it's fast enough, I should be able to use... This might be out of order. I might have to put this after, I don't know. WPF has weird stuff in it. I mean, the easiest way to make a blurred panel is likely to steal the graphics data from behind the panel and blur it and then make it your background. That's probably what he did. I'll try. I just tried it, but I might have the objects out of order. I don't know. Um, in fact, I likely have the objects out of order. I likely need to put that under the 3D thing in the XAML. Yeah, my black screen suggests that. I've done that wrong. Oh, okay. Actually, maybe it goes before. Yeah, I think that just the blurred border thing might be better, but I need to constrain, like, make the border really, really thick so it zooms all the way through the thing. I think that might be more efficient, by far. Because then it's just pure shader. It's not, um, that code. That code might actually bypass shaders. I don't know. That might be CPU bound. Yeah, this theme stuff isn't too hard. It's just a case of getting all the references in that you might have forgotten. Yeah, as expected. I expected that to be wrong. I'm literally just trying different places to put this element now, just to be sure I'm doing it. I've tried everything. Okay, outside of the grid, but on the same canvas, which should give them both the same origin point of 0, 0, which should make them lay on top of each other. Let's try it. But yeah, I think the straight border might be the way to go, because it's probably faster. Effect might not be quite as good, but I wish I could put the splash on the screen. Like when I play Killing Floor 2, I get the splash window and I put it as a source as well in XSplit, so that you can actually see that I'm on the splash screen. Yeah, no, bloody hell. Yeah, it does not like the 3D component at all. It's probably not grabbing DirectX or something. It probably is incapable of doing that. So unfortunately, that method doesn't look like it's going to work. But the first thing I tried with this item here might work. I'm not quite sure why the border brush is blue. That's weird to me. Um, a lot of this is just strange to me. Let's crank everything up a notch. Let's see what we get with this. Yeah, this theme stuff honestly doesn't seem too hard. It's just that I've never done, or I've done very, very little WPF before. I've only done it in programs I've never released, and even that was all this year. The only other WPF component I've messed with, I hosted in a WinForms application. It was the laggiest shit I've ever seen to edit. It seems to have kind of unblurred or something. That's interesting. Like I'm thinking this border blur is the best I'm gonna get because it doesn't have as much of a slowdown because it's not a raw repaint the whole time. I don't think. But I need to basically eke the border all the way to the inside, and that's a doozy. Let's just go full crazy. Border radius, uh, border thickness, 100. I don't know. Also, remember, I'm actually a programmer, so the nature of the issues I will run into are completely different in many cases. Oh, oh, oh! I thought I had something. I'll try it anyway. I thought maybe the padding was is controlling the center. You get hotkeys set up, so I can just press a key and have the view change on an XSplit. Yeah. I know there's apparently a way to add DLLs to the themes with XAML, but I'm not sure what that way is, and the plugins just do it so much better. It's blurrier, but it still feels like it's too in focus. Uh, let's go crazy. 50. No. 100 as a blur radius. That's probably stupid. I program every day for work in C# and Microsoft SQL. We'll just try some crazy numbers and see how broken this is. I'm still not sure what direction to take that's the plugin I wrote for Steam installing because it opens the default Steam install window, and if I try to use the well, it takes focus away from BigBox, and I can't tell from Steam when it closes to force focus back to BigBox, and I can install the thing automatically if I force Steam into Big Picture and then call the install command, but then it's it just installs in the default library, so it's a pain with that. This is, I guess, all right. Not in focus. I mean, it works. A little jittery, but that might be all the recording and stuff. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the Steam install module I have, but it's kind of it doesn't do a lot that's useful. Let's find something that's not installed. Basically, that's interesting. If I come here, I add this install with Steam button, which oh, how do I stop the video? This install with Steam button that triggers a Steam install, but right now, and of course it's not being captured. Oh, dang it. Where is it? Ah, because the capture is looking for the window title. Of course it is. I'll just put that there for demonstration purposes. Wow, that... Huh. So you hit that button, it pops this open, and, you know, what are you going to do? Your joystick doesn't do anything. Unless you have, Steam intercepting it or something else. I guess I could use a joy to key or something to activate as soon as you go to install, but then I have nothing to deactivate it. And like I said, if you finish the install, if you cancel, I don't have anything that pops you back. Like if I cancel this, BigBox is still not in focus. I need to click it now. And now the video's playing again. That's okay. That's an interesting discovery. BigBox will start playing the video without updating the menu button for play stop video when it gains focus. That's probably undesired behavior in one direction or the other. Either this button up here should be updating, because it says play video but it's already playing, or the video shouldn't start when the program regains focus. I will have to report that shortly. Unless someone's already reported it. I don't know. But yeah, install with Steam's kind of, it's rather ineffective. I'm not sure how to deal with it. I've got client libraries to gain access to the list of Steam libraries, and I could probably find a way to trigger it, but that's the other thing. Yeah, it does. If you try to play a game that's not installed, it does. Now I can use the function I use to detect if this is installed or not to put an indicator on the screen. Like when you're browsing games, I could put an indicator on the screen that says if it's installed or not. So that's useful. But oh, dang it. But and also if I trigger big picture in the background and then tell it to install, like I said, it just silently installs the app. Or the game into whatever your default library is. But again, that's not really desirable. And the code I have to ask Steam for its library list and the functions that I might have access to install the game and tell it which library to install to aren't safe functions to use. They could break. Yeah. So I'm not sure what to do with this. I need to make it do more. The preferable thing for it to do would be if when you hit it, a window popped open on your screen in LaunchBox, like any of the other pop-ups, like this one, with what to install to, like what your Steam libraries on different drives, wherever you put them, and a cancel button. That would be optimal. And the other thing I'm thinking is oh, what would it be? Oh, dang it! Don't play. Uh, what was the other thing I'm thinking? I've already forgotten my own train of thought. Yes. Oh, I was thinking about making a general component which has its own little API attached to it, which you give it a collection of tasks. It doesn't do the tasks, it just knows that they exist, and it can display how complete those tasks are, like a progress bar in BigBox, kind of like the one in LaunchBox. And different plugins could pass it information, like the Steam plugin would pass it if Steam is currently downloading a game or something, and it would display that certain things are going on in the background. That's an idea I have. And that's not too hard. It's glorified progress bar with just a little system in the background that every once in a while checks up on all the tasks and sees what it should display, if anything. Something else I need to figure out is I want to do automatic updating of a custom attribute or something on all of the Steam games that marks them as installed or not installed. And the reason for that is you can then make a playlist that watches that variable. Um, I could also just make it a manual playlist as well. Uh, Manual playlist would work for people who don't have premium. Actually, is premium a are plugins a premium only feature, or are plugins a universal feature? I'm actually not sure. Also, Steam, 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 Steam. My end goal is to have Steam, Origin, Uplay, GOG, itch.io, GameJolt, and so on being filled automatically by some sort of program, but that's going to take a while. I just want to I've said this before in other things, but I don't know if you probably wouldn't have listened to any of that stuff because it's non-LaunchBox stuff. I think that Steam and Valve really need competition. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Quantum. Um, you just obviously you can't use the big box ones, and I requested that he add a service plugin type, which would just be a really dumb plugin. All it would know is that LaunchBox or BigBox has started and that it wants to close, and it would hold until it was done whatever it was doing so it could close. And the reason I need one of those types of plugins is so that I can run a service in the background and terminate properly. Because fun fact, all of this Steam stuff I'm doing, the interface I'm using to do this install with Steam button and all the Steam data is well, the Steam API is available in 32-bit and 60 stop and 64-bit, but both of those require you to implement the interface like a game would. There's a 32-bit interface that's somewhat undocumented, but it follows the same code, it's versioned and everything, just like the normal ones are. It's 32-bit only, but you can use it without pretending to be a game. So that's how I'm able to ask Steam for certain information. But as a side effect, LaunchBox is a 64-bit program. So I needed to write a custom program to sit in the background and receive commands from this plugin in Steam, or not in Steam, in LaunchBox. And it works great. And I had it start up and shut down every time it would do an operation that it needed to check with Steam for. But it would sometimes hang and not work right. So what I need to do is I need to start the service when LaunchBox starts, and then when LaunchBox closes, I need to close this service. Um, you don't even see it going on in the background, but it's there. I even made it so that if it's launched with a um yeah, I made it so if it's launched with a number parameter, which is how this thing used to be launching the process before in the background before I gave up on having it do it. It would if the Steam interlink received no request for any information after that many seconds, it would close itself. And then I made it so if it's launched without that, it actually sits in your system tray, so you can close it. And it's just a little doohickey. Hold on. It's actually a program. Where did I put the icon? Where are you, doodad? As I try, I have way too many folders open. Ah, here it is. This is the logo of the stupid little background task. I think it came out pretty good. Granted, you never see this logo really. If you see it, you see like this little tiny one. Ugh. Hold on. You see this little tiny one all the way down in your system tray by your clock. But this is the interlink application to talk to Steam. Um, but yeah, I was starting to say Steam desperately needs competition. And the biggest thing that Steam has is it has so many games that people own already on it. And the easier that we would have an ability for someone to take a program like, let's say, LaunchBox, install it in their computer, uh, hit a few buttons, and have all their Steam games in it automatically, it's a big plus as soon as you get it able to load other games. Like if they hit another button and all their God Galaxy games are there, and hit another button and all their Origin games are there, they hit another button and all their Uplay games are there. As soon as you reduce the attachment to Steam, people are more likely to buy games on other platforms, and then Valve will actually have to deal with competition. At least that's what I'm hoping. And I've been wanting to do that for a while. I've said before I wanted to make my own program, and then I kind of stumbled on this one. Um, and at the very least, this is saving me the agita. See, I think that's most of that stuff working. I might end up stealing some of the code from the Helix toolkit and embedding it inside of my panoramic thing, if the license permits, because I'm only using the cube panorama. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I've been working on so far. I've just got that one little rinky-dink plugin with the install button, which I'm not sure. I know what I want to do with it. I need to figure out how. I um I figured out how to check what games are installed in Steam. Interestingly, there's functions to get that information, but they're unsafe. They're in a set of interfaces that could change anytime and then not work anymore, and I have to fix them. But I also found functions I can use to check if you own a game or if a game is installed. I just have to have the game's ID. Well, beneficially, there's this file in the Steam app cache folder that has a cache of all of the games your client has seen, which means that every game that you own is in that cache, as well as other games. So if I read that cache file, I get all of the application information out of it. I then take all of that application information and I check if you own the game or if the game's installed with all of those app IDs. I'm only going to check every game you've ever seen. And by seen, I mean you were playing it or a friend was playing it. And that will let me figure out what games are actually installed or owned on your account, and then I can import them into the program. And I've also been working on, I think I've mapped like 3,000 Steam games or something to games database IDs manually. The last set's been kind of annoying, so I haven't finished it off. But it's a doozy. Yeah, that's my interest right now. When it comes to Origin, I actually figured out how to detect what games are installed. I can't detect what games you own, but I can tell if they're installed and I can tell where they're installed. Because every time you install something with Origin, Origin leaves a marker in a certain location in the on the hard drive in like users app data or something. So I can literally figure out what Origin games you have installed. And beyond that, it gets a little difficult, um, which is annoying. Because what I really want to do is I really want to have a setup where you can list games you don't have installed, and you can go to it and press a few buttons and have it install the game in the background while you're doing something else. And then you can go and just play the game. Um, Because our libraries, especially a Steam library like mine with 5,000 games, shrinks considerably when you only limit it to games that are installed. Um, I can actually get some limited information from the store in real time. I found I found information on the APIs that Big Picture in Steam uses to browse the store, but they could change again anytime, and it would just stop working and need to be fixed. There's actually a function I use right now when I launch a game, any game through Steam. I run a script. I tell this emulator to start with this ROM. The script stores that information and then injects a temporary shortcut, which is a weird function Valve has never told anyone about, but I found in Steam's APIs that unfortunately can break. It it tries to add a temporary shortcut with the name of the game and the platform in parentheses, and if it succeeds in adding it to Steam, it then runs it. And then that shortcut runs a dumb program which reads this file of what emulator to launch and it launches it. Um, so basically, you select a game in LaunchBox, any game, you hit play, it adds it as a temporary third-party shortcut to Steam, and then starts it. And the whole point for doing that, which is something that I have right now, is Steam sees it as a profile or a thing to have a controller profile for. That's what CamelSpit's been using. Whenever CamelSpit mentions a proxy, that's my program doing that. Um, and of course, if the add temporary shortcut function breaks, I have logic written that can read what shortcuts are in Steam, but can't add any new ones. But it can read it if everything else fails, and then it can execute them. So that code, the idea is you put like a backup shortcut in your Steam for the proxy application, and then if all else fails, it will still run your ROM or whatever or your emulator through Steam, but it'll just call it Steam proxy because the thing failed. But yeah, I have a lot of strange things going on. I think that's it though for now. Because it's 11, so I should probably stop. I kind of wanted to stream plugin development stuff after the LaunchBox streams, but I'm working normally then, and then once work is done, it's like an hour till dinner. So it doesn't really work out very well. But I guess feel free to pass on any ideas you have for plugins, and I can at least look at the feasibility, especially if it has to do with Steam, just because that's something I've done a lot of work with. And I guess that's it for now. At least we've got a random video control and a panoramic cube control now. Although the cube control is incomplete and the video control technically is a little hazy because it you just give it a dumb path right now. You get a folder and it just reads all the MP4s in that folder and randomly picks one. Um, but once that's working efficiently enough, or I have some use cases for it, I can probably create some better stuff. Because I'm picturing a situation where we can actually have you browse through your game library, and then when you hit a game that has panorama files saved in the data folders, it'll see them and use the panorama background. That'd be nice. But I don't know if or when that's gonna happen. And if I just put those into the normal LaunchBox data folders, LaunchBox's image unneeded or unused image cleanup would actually delete them. So it's all fun in games now. But it's getting there, obviously. So yeah, like I said, if you have any ideas for plugins or features, especially if it has to do with Steam, just let me know. Because that is my main area of expertise right now. And yeah. Yeah, I know scrapers and stuff are a big deal. That's another thing I really need a service for, because the problem with the way the stuff's set up now is well, I'm concerned about race conditions for one thing, because Jason still has to lock down everything, but then he also has to take the entire plugin API he wrote and make it follow the same locks. So then if LaunchBox decides it wants to edit a value on a game, and a plugin decides it wants to edit a value on a game, only one of them should be allowed to edit a given value at the same time. And that would require a lock context, which he doesn't really have any of in the code. That, and I'm also, until he creates a service plugin type, I'm concerned about a situation where something's busy and you close LaunchBox or BigBox or something, and it just trashes all the information. Um, the biggest thing you'll run into is some of the plugins. Up until you've actually done the action, any work you have to do to get there just freezes BigBox until it's done, and LaunchBox until it's done. Like when I first wrote the Steam thing, when I was trying to get it to work, it was really slow because I was just fighting with it, and I thought that I had frozen LaunchBox, and it had actually just been my program that I talked to had hung, that little Steam application. So when I restarted it automatically picked up and unfroze LaunchBox. But it's like, oh, that's unsafe. So it's got a way to go. But I'm hoping that Jason will fill out a lot of the stuff. I made that post with a bunch of suggestions in it, and actually PM'd in the post. So we'll see. I guess, like I said, it's like 5 to 11, so I should probably stop. But yeah. Oh, with relations to scrapers, like I said, I did map like 3,000 Steam games to games database IDs. Hopefully, I'll be porting that stuff into the games database at some point. But I'm thinking I might start maintaining my own database of information that's not in the games database, but that can tie to it. Um, Stuff like what Steam trailers, like the list of all the Steam trailers, the list of all the Steam screenshots, what I guess the Steam screenshots probably be pulled down, but the trailers, like what time codes that they should be cropped to if you're going to use them, stuff like that. But that's a while away, and I have a lot of stuff on my plate, so I obviously need to make sure I don't do too much. Um, yes. So with that, I should have left the marquee. I should have left Big Box open this whole time I was talking, just so I could make sure it didn't crash. Is the one thing that's going to be hairy. Um, Also, if you think of any components for WPF for the XAML for Big Box, let me know that too. Because any components that you can think of that might work well, there's no reason not to add those. Yes, that's the thing. Is it's a lot of work. What I would have to do is I don't know how delayed this is by the way, but you can see on the screen. What I'd have to do is I'd write the program that allowed you to select a video, download it, and crop it all easily. But that program would have to be, while you're doing that, collecting what cuts you do and then sending that information to me. So then once I have an aggregate of all of these people that cropped all the videos a certain way, um, then I know, oh, this is the correct way to crop that video, and it goes in the database, and then forevermore, anyone who wants to grab that video, it would automatically crop appropriately. Um, that's the best way I can think of doing that. It still seems a little fast for a minute rotation, and a little hitchy. Yeah, we're pretty darn close to having A fake Minecraft menu. That's gonna be neat. Time well wasted, I guess. Okay. Well, for me, that's it. So I need to stop this thing. I don't know when I'm going to stream again because, like I said, it's hard to find a good block of time to do it. And on the weekend, I'm trying to do projects like this. Um, but like at really weird hours. But I'll try. It's always interesting. Oh, also, my lovely come on, Cube Games collection. Find that list because we might be able to do some of that as plugins. I mean, they're technically not plugins because they could be done without plugins, but doing them as plugins is much more efficient and easier. This collection, this playlist, is nothing but games that involve blocks. All of them are block games. Oh dear. That's enough cute games. Yeah, if you can find that list, let me know. I never thought to make a holding screen. How do I make that real quick? Call this code plus BigBox. And we'll call this... Oh, darn it. The holding screen. There we go. Look at that. That's lovely. It's wiggling. That's actually a the logo I'm using there is a logo from a Steam bundle that had block games in it. And then I took the block that had bit trip on it because I didn't consider it block like voxel blocky enough. I considered it a pixel game instead. And I changed it out for another random block game. Like that list, that playlist is basically all voxel games or games that are explicitly blocks, like blocks that matter. Even though it's a 2D game, it's explicitly blocks. I don't know why I did that either. I think I'm slightly crazy. Of course I'm slightly crazy. I've got this thing on the screen. Okay, well, that's it. So I'm gonna kick this off, and you can send that to me. Feel free to @ me on Discord so I get the notification if you didn't already post it. And I will talk to you probably if you watch the stream tomorrow in the stream chat when Jason's fighting through plugins again. And I'm stalling to find the stop button. Auf Wiedersehen. Oh, that was really, really bad German.